Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to All About Racing for the third round of the season in F1 Power Grid Week 3, and we're back with Division 1 Masters tier at the Losail International Circuit, 5.36 kilometres and 3.343 miles in length, 28 laps to race around here in a little bit, 16 corners around this place as well, 6 to the left and 10 to the right. We're at full throttle at this place for around only 40% of the lap, believe it or not. Elevation change is mostly flat. It's only 12 metres of elevation change around this place. One DRS zone down that start finish straight. And it's just after turn 16. The C3 soft, C2 medium and C1 hard tyre, the tyre of choice for this evening. Cookie leading the championship by 1 point on 93. Lemons on 92 points, 74 points for Zoltan. Plevance on 60. Fifth place is Dark Stomper on 48. Pirate Danny is on 48, 47 for Pork. Denhorn, 38. Bomishai is on 30, Tuck is on 28 in 10th, and the constructors Haas leading the well 104.95 for McLaren, and third place 93 is Red Bull. Williams on 78, Aston Martin on 76th in 5th, Racing Bull 6th, Mercedes 7th, 8th is Sauber, 9th is Ferrari, and 10th and last is Alpine. We'll be quiet for a minute as usual, as you're all mainly aware, a lot of them actually have got their correct figures on, so that's pretty good. So just bear with me 1 second whilst I get the names sorted out. It'll take me a minute or two. Okay, so thanks for your patience. We got that all sorted. If anyone's listening to the stream now or later on, as we see the Ferrari go off of Konditsky, but if anyone's watching later on or listening now, try and put your online IDs on for next week. Saves me with those couple of minutes, because everyone on my data just comes up as player, and I struggle to cross-reference between the two when we're sort of going fast-paced in the race and in qualifying. Is Kudonsky is exceeding all track limits there as Zoltan comes up to the line. DRS open. Fastest time overall, has set 3 purple sectors, and that's why the telemetry app is actually so important and got it working good and proper by the looks of things from now on. As Hastonia is on a lap. We know he's quick. I see him in my time trials all the time. A very good one-lap pace driver, that's for sure, as he comes through this tight sequence here, turn 10, and it rolls into 11, which is this flowing left-hander, and then into the real flowing section, the fast section, 12, 13, 14. As we have So Pigs leave the session, and we have Hastonia coming around to finish his lap, turn 16 and final corner for the Racing Bulls driver, using all the curve on the in and outside of the corner, rear wing open across the line at 121.999. As So Pigs Do Fly gets back into the session, as Dan comes up to the line himself now. Personal best overall, goes fifth fastest at 121.3. Mr. Cookies, is he on a lap at the moment? No, going slowly on this lap this time around. Kondonsky not able to set a lap just yet. As Toja comes up to the line and does miss out on provisional pole. Could have used a hell of a load of funny puns then at the end of that lap. So Bomasai going slowly. Is that a car going faster? No, it isn't. Den probably coming in on a lap here, maybe, or would have been Pirate Danny, but he's invalidated. 125.7 for him so far. Is Kondonsky starts his next lap. You hear the car bottoming out down that straight in the HP Ferrari as he comes into the first couple of corners. As he makes his way towards the end of Sector 1, just before Turn 6, which is coming up now. He's now 30.1 in the first sector. It's only a personal best first sector for him there, as So Pigs Do Fly does get himself back into the session again. We wait to see what Kondonsky can do in the final part of this lap. Still got a lot of battery to use in this final part of the lap as well. Oh, then should have lifted a little bit, running a little less downforce by the looks of things, and isn't able to take the second to last corner. Or before that, the one before the penultimate corner, should we say. So we wait to see what EPA Arbon, what he can do on a lap. But he is going slowly. It doesn't look like this is a representative lap so far. So Exo Thunder starting from the back of the pack, as we see Alex Carew just start to warm up his tyres for his final attempt. His penultimate attempt, should I say, final attempt. We're getting a little ahead of ourselves there. A lot of drivers out on outlaps at the moment, and it's our job to work out who's going to be first ones on a lap. We'll keep an eye on the first three. Is Arabon is coming up to the line now to set his first lap and will be his penultimate lap of the session. And then he goes 10th fastest, 126.8, 6 seconds off the pole time. So maybe this is the faster flying lap this time around. So of course we shouldn't really be worrying about weather conditions for this one, as we're in the Middle East. Evening thunder. So we have had pretty much all of those cars that are on out laps now on their lap. Alex, personal best in the first sector, not a fastest overall sector one. Into the very top half of the track here through 7, 8, turn 9 and into the left-hander of 10 and 11, which rolls on after it all into one corner. Really, this should all be turn 10 ready, but it is past his two corners. Then we've got 12, 13. Going to hear a lift. We saw the Ferrari lose out on his previous attempt. Kondonski. Here comes the 12th place man. It's only personal best in the first and second sector. Of course that's going to happen, as this is his first time lap on the board. Goes 4th fastest, just ahead of his Williams teammate. A 120.942 for him is Imins F1. Goes across the line 4th fastest, and then Pirate Danny just behind 5th fastest at 120.8. A couple of those drivers in the 120.7s right now. Just over 100th of a second between 3rd and 4th place. Just over a 10th between 1st and 2nd place. As here comes Kondonski again, coming up to that treacherous section that he had earlier on. Just try to get our words out properly. Treacherous section. There we go. So yellow flags, but that doesn't matter. In sim racing, they'll keep going flat and then goes wide and invalidates the lap again. Really struggling to get a solid lap time on the board for Kondonski. One of the reserve drivers this evening, as he stays out once again for whatever reason. Not going to get another lap time on the board. Hasn't got enough fuel to even get the full lap done. We've got 5 minutes left in the session. So Kondonski will get another lap in when he hasn't got any fuel to get back round again. He won't stop, of course. It will just go into sort of a limping mode all the way back to the pits. So Pigs Do Fly struggled this session just to get a lap time on the board and just to stay in the session. As you hear the car bottoming out through that fast section, and he has invalidated the lap again and is really struggling to get a lap on the board. The top 10 all in the pit lane at the moment with 3.5 minutes left on the clock. The sectors, the purple sectors, scattered around the field as imminent F1 has got the first sector purple, second sector purple is for Todger, and Alex Coro is the third sector fastest overall man. And Mr. Cookies hasn't got a fastest sector overall at all, but just super consistent all the way through the lap to take that provisional pole position for now. So Sunya saying sorry to Pigs as he was out of fuel, and looks like he might have impeded his lap. Bear with me just a second. Sorry, just trying to sort out. I always have the stream on in the background as well, just to use this little replay. And for whatever reason, it won't let me see it in the background. As we're watching Bomisai start his final attempt. And as he comes around the end of the first sector, he's 3/10 up on his previous attempt. If he carries on like this, he might get himself onto the front two rows as we come around at the top of the circuit, turn 7 and turn 8 into 9 flat out in an F1 car. Of course, this is designed for MotoGP, so far from flat out into that right-hander at turn 9 and then through 10 and 11, and this complex here definitely not flat out on 2 wheels, but we can be flat out on 4. And again, and into turn 14, flat once again. We've seen drivers go around there in qualifying today. And again, right on the raggedy edge. Really pressing the right foot into that firewall as we come out of the final corner in the 29 Racing Bulls as he comes up to the line. DRS Open getting to the line before the checkered flag, and it's 5th fastest for him and a 1:20.7. His teammate comes across the line just behind. Has Tonya, who does very well in time trials, not so well today when it comes under the pressure in qualifying. Den goes 9th fastest with 1:21 on the nose. As we wait for the next car, it's going to be Alex Cora as he comes up to the line himself. And then we're going to wait. And he goes 2nd fastest, so close to pole as Todger stays where he is and wasn't able to improve overall at the end. Is Mr. Cookie, he's not going to improve as he's invalidated his time as the track's gone red on the right hand side, so he stays on provisional pole for now. Is Ims, who is up on his time. This could be pole position for the Haas driver as he comes around the final corner to set pole position with a 1:20.2, 3/10, almost 3/10 faster than the next man. The Haas driver will be on pole in Qatar. Bomisai completed his lap before the clock ran to 0, but he won't be able to improve again. That is the end of qualifying Imins F1 on pole in Qatar, and we'll be back before the start of the formation lap. But a very good job from the Haas driver there. So as I said, we'll be back in a minute, and there is your pole sitter in his all black lid for this evening. So, with the start of the formation lap, sorry, didn't have my headset on for a second there, and it got me caught unawares. We've got a real mix across the board, only two sets of tyres being used, so used to it, medium and hards on this game. No one really choosing to use the soft tyre. The top two starting on the opposite ends. We're just going to have a quick look at what the strategy says. They do actually sort of recommend the softs as well, but no one's gone for that option. They might go for the softs at the end of the strategy. It goes some hard mediums there actually. When I was looking at it, it was a little bit different from that. They are saying a two-stop as well, soft, medium. Pit lane here, I have got that information, 21 to 23 seconds on average. So a reasonably long pit lane. Not as long as it used to be, of course, since they made the alterations. Had one driver out. Jay. starting at the back and waiting at the back for longer than he would have liked, as we get Ims lining up on the front row. We've got Mr. Cookies, who's been sent back in his box for just being a bit too greedy, trying to get right to the edge of the box and take as much advantage as he can, and instead he's been held to a disadvantage. So waiting for the last driver to form up on the grid. So Ims on pole, Mr. Cookie alongside him, 5 red lights and foot flat to the floor here in Qatar, and Ims has not got the best of launches, could have got better, but Mr. Cookie is now going to be alongside Private Danny, who has got an even better start and in to second place. The Plevant also making up a place himself so far as well, up 3 places Zoltan from the start as well. He's into 4th, and following that white Red Bull this evening into turn 4. And turn 5. And sliding out of the corner at the rear, as we've got 2 Alpines there fighting with Den as he goes up the inside at the top of the circuit at turn 7 and gets the move done out of turn 7 and completed at turn 8 as we go through 9 and now turn 10, and you see the possible race strategies come up, and different for different people this time around. Actually, that's interesting as well. No, that to happen. He was trying to escape the DRS. Won't happen until the next lap, and it won't happen until we go around this corner. Next lap around, of course, it's only on the start finish straight as we come out of the final corner and start lap 2. And we'll have a look at the position changes as well on this lap as well, as the McLaren gets closer and closer to the championship leader as we go into this round. And Zoltan is up into 3rd place. So, Lemons F1, or Lemons, he's also called, out in the lead and over a second ahead of the car behind. So that advantage is quashed for now. And Private Danny will have to be looking at Zoltan behind, who may make complaints about Zoltan's driving. He's going very wide into the penultimate corner, not to get himself a time penalty or a warning. In some corners on this game, if you go far wide out of track limits, it won't recognise that you've been off track at all. So another reason why they're not having a game this year and just a DLC update, I guess, because they can't sort out basic problems like that on the package we've got at the moment. Through turn 3 up towards turn 4, following nicely. We'll have a little bit of dirty air from the car ahead. It does affect you a little bit in the game, not very much, but there you go. There's a little slide where you are being affected by the drag from the car ahead. Just losing a bit of that front end grip. He's going to slide again out of the next corner. He may possibly. Does seem to happen more in these slow speed corners though. Not many of those around this place, really only one slow speed corner. As I said in qualifying, it's a MotoGP circuit. So the fast flowing corners are much better for racing on motorbikes through the final couple of corners. And as we know, in four-wheel racing, especially four-wheel racing like open wheel racing, you want long straights and long braking zones and very slow apex speed corners to get overtakes done. So much harder around places like Qatar. So we're just keeping an eye on Zoltan and Private Danny at the moment. Apologies for not moving. I just realised I haven't looked at anyone else, but there is this 3-car fight for second place. And Ems has just been able to race off down the road after Mr. Cookie's poor start. So she go down the start finish again. Zoltan not close enough this time. You're going to stay close. The red light flashing on the back of the car means the car ahead is harvesting energy. Down about 160 to 80 brake horsepower when that light's flashing. That's why it flashes, to indicate you've got a slow moving car ahead. But of course, that 180 brake horsepower only really takes a huge effect towards the top end of the speed. So in these low to medium speed corners, you can't really get close enough to make up a place. And that's why the harvesting is so important around these parts of the racetrack. And when you deploy it at about this point here, where we're going to get up to some serious speeds into the next sequence of corners. So we've got a bit of more of a train forming now. The cars catching up, the two Williams catching up to Mr. Cookie behind. Mr. Cookie decides to take out one of the Great Mark Awards for some reason. So Zoltan getting closer this time, but maybe not close enough, as Hastonia makes up a place on Kondonski. And Dan, he's very close up behind the Sauber. And hopefully with the next game we might lose a bit of these trains, because it really has happened over the past couple of years now. It gets worse and worse with the trains. It all starts coming down to people more so making mistakes than anything else. Oh, so here we go. Look down at my screen for the first time in ages, and then these two are actually now jostling for position, and Zoltan's made up the place. It always happens. You look at them for ages, you go away, you then look at the screen, and it always happens. So apologies for that, but there you go. Zoltan got past, and then we'll stay on this battle for a while now, and then we'll move off, and there'll be more overtakes that happen. It's always the way. Lap 7 of 29. Alex Carew there got very close up behind the Red Bull car as we come through the final few corners and on to the next lap. Is Private Danny going to have a quick car now with DRS to use for himself? Does seem to be that way as he goes for the move back into second. And does seem to have a very low downforce setup on the car, which is why he's been able to defend from DRS and able to get overtakes done with DRS. And that sometimes is a trick in league racing, to not be stuck in these trains, just sacrifice the downforce in the corners, take some of that error off and have a quicker car in a straight line, because you're going to get stuck in these trains and it becomes a bit of a headache in qualifying, really. So do the best of a bad qualifying setup if you're going to run it that way. And you see through these corners, you see Zoltan catch up. He'll stay very close behind it and get even closer. It points through that section. And start getting on to the fast bits. He might be close enough. He certainly is close enough, and he's going to go back for that overtake on the inside, but the outside line very good to defend with. But holds where he is. We haven't seen any fights go up to turn 3 yet. Turn 3, turn 4, turn 3 now. Right in front of the camera, turn 4 as we fly through. We have got cars towards the midfield pack who are very close together as well. We saw them earlier on in Dent, I think in a bit of a train that he's not supposed to be in, right under the gearbox of cars for the first third of the race. And Zoltan actually been able to just get a couple of tenths of breathing space, which is kind of what you need to by the end of sector 1, at the end of the start finish straight and into turn 1. Has Tonya at the front of this train. Kondonski sticking with him in the toe and then goes for a big lunge around the outside. We weren't expecting that. Is he going to hold on to it here? He's still got some racing room. He's going to have to be given, and then goes wide and snaps the car and goes off the circuit. May have got himself a warning for that one as well. But it was a valiant effort. He braked far later. Knew he could brake later because he wasn't going to take the apex. As Zoltan got the pace in him to get outside of that DRS window that holds so many drivers back. If you can escape it like Le Mans, you can sail off down the road. As Kondonski gets another warning, and then Zoltan gets a big snap out of the final corner, which would have lost him a tenth or two, that's for sure, as Private Danny gets closer and closer, and almost close enough, as we have Blomisai into the pit lane. Lap 11 coming off the mediums. Is he going on to the softs? No, hard tyres for him. That will be to the end, I imagine. I only did 10 laps on those hard tyres, medium tyres, sorry, should I say. Imzo making a mistake. Thunder out, retiree, virtual safety car deployed. Are the drivers on the medium tyre going to pit? Not too far from the pit lane. A sector to go. You have Exo Thunder out of the session. Not sure how he's dropped it. Don't even know where he dropped it, to be honest. I think Zoltan's very keen to get in the pits. We've just had one. Bomisai. Ims is going to come into the pits. Zoltan going to do the same thing. He is. They're all just going to get that little bit of a discount. It's not going to be much. Some of them staying out. Mr. Cookie going to take that track position and hope for something like a safety car to come on a bit later on in a few laps time. VSC still out. It's the Merc cuts across his path and a lot of the drivers taking this VSC. And a lot of them getting some form of a discount there, not as much as others. And him is now down in 6th place. Might see some overtakes now with differing strategies from drivers. So are these guys going to stand out a bit longer? They should do. They're on the hard tyres. Everyone down to 5th is on the hard, so that's why they chose to stay out that little bit longer. Didn't really have much of a choice though, did they? But to stay out that little bit longer. Here goes Mr. Cookies around the outside. What a move on Alex Carew. He knows this is his opportunity. Mr. Cookies needs to stay in the lead of the race. He has got a 3-second time penalty to his name though, however. That will of course be a problem as we get to the end. 4 drivers with penalties, all of them bar one on 3 seconds, Kondonski on 6 seconds, and I said the top 5 all on the hard tyre as it stands still from the start. And how much further are they going to go on the hard tyre? I would guess another 4 laps or so until they go to the mediums. It's made things a little bit interesting. It's only 12.5 seconds though between Mr. Cookies and Ims as it stands, but he's got some traffic coming up ahead of him now. And just up ahead, Kondonski moving up into 4th place and overtaking Entrontic, and we've got our net race leader right behind him. As we get to around half race distance, halfway through this lap, it will be at half race distance. How long Is this going to slow these guys up for? This is the chance that Mr. Cookies and Alex Carew have got. This is the vital moment, one of the vital, pivotal moments of this race where they could sway things and have things swayed into their favour potentially if Lemons can't get past quickly enough. Not a huge amount of places here to overtake apart from turn one. Just going to have to stay behind here, that's for sure. He's not going to have to move into the penultimate corner, is he? No, just too quick. Just too quick. No braking zones to close that gap up, really. Might make it overtake here. Kondonsky goes wide. Ims goes through and tries to make two moves in one straight and does get it done. Is Entronsic now going to try and make up a place as well after seeing it can be done from Lemons? He does, and Kondonsky is going to have lost 2 places, but only for a second as they go side by side into turn 4, and Kondonsky has to take evasive action and pull out of the move, and it's 5th place for Entronsic, and Kondonsky is in 6th, and Lemons Ims is up into 4th, and that was a purple first sector for him there, and as he's got some clean air ahead of him, he can open up a little bit more and start getting on with it. We should see drivers that started on the hard tyres coming in very, very shortly. So, Kondonsky again and Entronsic changing places once again. And the top 3 is still yet to pit. Don't think they'll pit this time around. I think it'll probably be the next lap. Ims is catching up on them though. That was a car going slowly, that was Pigs. This is the time now where the top 3 really are going to hope for a safety car. It will change things for them a little bit. Or a lot. Two out of the top 3 pit this time around. Surely going to pit for the medium. Mr. Cookies does, so does Clements as well. It's going to move them quite a way down. 8th and 9th for them. So a bit of overtaking, bit of racing for them to get on with. Into these final stages of the race as we are going on the downhill part of the race now. And he's got 7.5 seconds to catch Alex Carew. And Kondonsky and Entronsic, those two have not pit. Zoltan has pit and is caught up to the back of these two pretty quickly. As Alex now does decide to pit, is the overcut or the undercut going to work for Alex Carew? We shall see, as we've got two others, Kontonski and Tronzo, they both come in at the same time as well. He's also up into second, but he's 8 seconds off the lead. And Alex Carew does get one place. The overcut did work for him a little bit there, didn't it? So just over 10 laps left to go. M's really in control of the race. It'll be interesting on tyre strategy now at this point. And see what Mr. Cookies can do, what the Clements, Alex Carew can do compared to the other guys who started on the mediums and are now on the hards for their final stint. Got Todger not too far behind from Private Danny. But he's coming into the pits. 6 left old medium tyres. What is he going on to with this strategy call then? And drop him all the way down behind JM in the penultimate spot of the race.